while a lot of people associate sauerkraut with Germany, actually fermenting cabbage is an ancient food preservation technique that goes way before the Germans, centuries before the Germans. And fermented cabbage was actually eaten in ancient China and also they think in the Roman Empire, way long time ago. But over time, Germany and Central Europe have made sauerkraut kind of a traditional food, and that's why we associate sauerkraut with German. And if I'm going back to ancient China, during the building of the Great Wall of China more than 2,000 years ago, workers actually are believed to have eaten fermented cabbage preserved in rice wine. That was what they fed them to give them the energy and the boost that they needed to keep going. And later, Central Europeans adapted the process and then replaced the rice wine with salt to create what we now know as sauerkraut. And then Captain James Cook actually carried barrels of sauerkraut when he went on his long sea voyages because it stores well and it helped to protect the sailors from scurvy when there weren't any fresh fruits and vegetables available. And my mentor, Danielle Arsenault, and a few of you know Danielle, actually, when she used to do things like rock climbing in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta, and probably in BC a little bit, she would take sauerkraut because it was so easy to, you didn't need to refrigerate it. It was, and it would stay nice. And it also would give you that boost of energy. Now, the other thing about sauerkraut, actually, one of the students that was in my class while we were learning about sauerkraut and all that, she was doing a road trip across America from Florida to California. And she took sauerkraut with her as her snack that she could have, a healthy snack without having to have a refrigerator for it. Take that to the bank if you want. So those are some interesting things about sauerkraut. So there's four main ingredients for successful fermentation. If you want to be fermenting sauerkraut, you need to start with some, it's more microorganisms that do the work, and the conditions that we create include giving them food. They need moisture as well, and we need to have the right temperature. So it doesn't work so well in the cold. It needs to be warm, and also we have to have patience. That's the other thing. It takes some time, and that's exactly what we're doing today with our Rejuvelac. And it kind of reminds me of so many things in life. We can't force things. We have to give things time, especially around our health and other things. So this is no different than that. So those are the ideas. And that's just a little bit about the actual fermentation process. And I'm going to talk now about Rejuvelac. So I don't know. I know a few of you have heard of Rejuvelac. Anybody that knows Danielle and has taken her program knows her. But for the rest of us, so what is Rejuvelac? It is a very simple traditional fermented culture made from sprouting grains in water. And the finished liquid becomes a natural starter for other cultured plant-based foods. Particularly what I see a lot is using it for making cultured cheeses, plant-based cheeses. And it has that fresh, a little bit tangy, but it's very kind of a lemony flavor. And so you can actually enjoy it just as a beverage. You can just drink it if you want. You know how like we have kombucha, which when I started in this plant-based world 13 years ago, people didn't know about kombucha. Kombucha is so widely known now, and it's a fermented beverage as well. Again, it's all good for our gut health. And Rejuvelac is kind of a similar. You could just have it as a beverage. You can culture your cheeses or other things. You can add it to smoothies if you want, which is then also using it as a beverage. And you can use it as a natural starter for other cultured recipes. And one of the women who is very famous in the living foods world was Anne Wigmore. And she believed that some of the most powerful foods are also the simplest. And she helped people to rediscover the traditional techniques like sprouting and fermenting and culturing. And she really didn't, and a lot of people associate her with inventing Rejuvelac. It's not that she invented it, but she definitely reintroduced Rejuvelac to the more modern natural foods movement and helped people to really understand how simple sprouted grains and water can be. And yeah, so that's a little